Right. Okay, we are back. Are you there? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
All right. Okay. Now, we will actually have a look at, uh, I'm sharing the document again. We will have a look at the components of um, uh, uh, a lesson plan quickly. So now we are going to write a lesson plan today, right? So while there are many formats for a lesson plan, there is no the format, actually speaking. We have to develop our own feasible, systematic lesson plan. Okay, so I will introduce one of the lesson plan. So there can be different formats of a lesson plan. But whatever the format is, it doesn't matter. The components should be the same, right? Components should be the same. They are more or less the same. So what are the components of a lesson plan? In this, typically in a lesson plan, if you take any lesson plan, this is the order of the lesson plan. So can one of you read the order of the lesson plan, the elements of the components of the lesson plan in order? Can you read?
Okay, ma'am. First one, title of the lesson.
Yeah.
Second, grade or class.
Mm-hmm.
Time required to complete the lesson.
Yeah.
Learning outcomes.
Very good.
Learning, teaching materials or quality input.
Very good.
Next, instructional component that describe the sequence of events or steps of the lesson.
Very
A
good.
summary where teacher leads a discussion and answers questions.
Mm.
An evaluation
An
component.
evaluation component. Right. Now, you all know, then we are going to put this component into a lesson plan format and write a lesson plan. So the first lesson plan we are writing together in the class. Now you all have to have a paper, pen and paper with you to do this, right? Are you ready? You have pen and paper with you?
Yeah, ma'am.
Right. Let me open some other document. I will close this and I'm sharing this, showing this document with you, right? Is it shown? No.
Yes, ma'am.
No, right. Let me see. Puta. Right. Share the screen. Okay. Now, can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So I see what happened. Right. It's shown, right? Now it's a blank sheet. You can see, no?
Yeah, can
Can you
see.
see? Huh?
Can see, madam.
Right. What is your preference? English one? Science? Environmental studies?
English is
Science.
English.
Science.
Science. I think science is easier than English. English ටිකක්
Yes, ma'am.
specific වෙන්න ඕනේ. අපි දෙවෙනි එකට English එකක් ලියමු, right?
okay.
Okay, because English වල පොඩ්ඩක් තියෙනවා වෙනස් කෑලි අත්‍තරම කියනවා නම්. අපි මුලින්ම බලමු සරල science, everybody knows it, right? So let's look at this. Here. This is the lesson plan format. Here, look at this. What is the first one? Date of the lesson. What is it?
Date.
Date of the lesson.
The lesson.
So now you can start writing it in your paper. Date. So then the subject. What's the subject? Science. What is the grade? Then you have the grade. Grade is 6. What is the time? 40 minutes. Samhalada grade and class. So grade is 6. You are doing grade 6B class. So you can put that grade and class. Okay. Then what comes next in the format? Date, subject, grade, and time. After that, what comes? The most important part of the lesson.
Learning objectives.
Yeah. Learning objectives. So you have to look at the lesson, and now you know how to formulate lesson objectives. So you have to actually formulate lesson objectives first and state them. In the lesson plan, you don't have to say this is cognitive, this is psychomotor, this is affective, like that. Normally, you first write the cognitive domain ones, then the psychomotor, and then the affective domain objectives. Now here, this is SMART. That is why the STEM at the end of the lesson, students will be able to, at the end of the lesson is time bound, SMART. So you all know this STEM is very important. So you can write it down at the end of the lesson. Students will be able to. It is, you don't have to repeat the same. No? So it is taken as a step. Then you put bullets and write. Can you read the 5 lesson objectives here?
Identify the 4 parts of the water cycle. Define the parts of the water cycle. Explain the process of the water cycle. Work cooperatively in the group and pairs. Create their own miniature water cycle.
Yeah. Actually speaking, parts of the water cycle, what is the best term for that? Part of the water cycle? Or, sorry? What do you call it? Parts of the water cycle?
Steps.
Hello?
Process.
Process is the whole thing, no? Right? Here it said, no? Process is the whole thing. Explain the process of water cycle. Stages of water cycle or something. Let's see, right? You have to find but the action verbs are proper, no? Identify, define, explain, work, and create. Are you okay?
Yes, madam.
Now you have taken it down. That is then what is the next component? ඊළඟට වඩාම වැදගත් වෙන්නේ learning teaching materials. මොනවාද පාවිච්චි කරන learning teaching materials for them to actually learn and reach these learning objectives. So the next would be, what are the learning teaching materials that you are going to use? So for that, you have to have a cage like this, right? For that, you have to keep it blank for a while. Have a cage like this, have space like this, learning teaching material. Don't write it right now. You can't write it and go to the steps. You're writing the steps and coming back to this and complete this. So can you leave space for learning teaching material?
Okay, ma'am.
හරි. දැන් ඒ කැල තියන්න ඕම. ඒ කැල සම්පූර්ණ කරන්න අපි steps ඊළඟ එක කරන ගමන් තමයි මේක step little by little or step by step we are completing this. Okay, now we have to actually state all the learning teaching materials. Before completing it, we have to look at the steps of the lesson. මොනවද අපිට හිතන්න තියෙන්නේ? Steps of the lesson. What are we supposed to?
Steps of the lesson.
Steps of the lesson. So, steps of the lesson. Now, we'll think. We will write it as a 5E model teaching. Right? Because this is a very good lesson for 5E model. ඒක නිසා මේක 5E model එකට අපි ලියන්නේ. එහෙමනම් අපි දන්නවා what are the steps of stages of 5E model teaching, steps of 5E model teaching. Tell me. Engagement, exploration. Happa, you have not studied, no? Explanation, elaboration and evaluation. Right? අපි repeat කරොත් engagement activity, exploration activity, explanation all throughout, elaboration activity and evaluation. Right. Okay, now දැන් අපි 5E model එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා කියලා අපි decide කරලා තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් step 1 එකේදී අපි මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ? Recalling prior knowledge. මොකද අපි කරන්න ඕනේ?
Recalling prior knowledge.
Again.
Recalling prior knowledge.
Why do we recall prior knowledge? That prior knowledge that they have now. Prior knowledge is good. There are lots of prior knowledge. But what is relevant to today's one? What is helpful in understanding today's lesson? What is connected to today's lesson? එතකොට එයා දාලා තියෙනවා මෙන්න මේ විදියට. The teacher displays the activity sheet forms of water on board. Forms of water. Now today our lesson is about the process of water cycle. හැබැයි එයා පටන් ගන්නවා their prior knowledge. What is the prior knowledge about?
Forms of water.
Yeah, that is previously learned. Okay. So displays an activity sheet, forms on water on board, blackboard or whiteboard. Annex 1.1. එහෙනම් මේ display කරන forms of water on board කියන එක තියෙන්නේ Annex 1.1 එක. මම ඒකට ඔයාලට ගිහින් පෙන්නන්න. Annex 1.1. Look at Annex 1.1. This is the one, drawing solids, liquids and gases. It was a draw some examples of solids, liquids and gases. Write down the names next to the picture. You get it?
Yes, ma'am.
So, එහෙමනම් මොකක්ද අපි කරන්නේ? අර display the activity sheet form.
Madam.
Forms of water on board. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Right. Now here, there are forms of water. They already know it. So you put a kind of activity sheet on the board. Maybe a demi paper or one you bring from home. It's already planned. And you put it on board and gets volunteers to pick a word card and complete the activity on board Annex 1.2. So they don't have to actually write the forms of water on their own. Instead, they have to actually pick a word card from the box that you have, and they have to actually go and paste it in the proper color. It may be gas, it may be liquid, it may be solid. So they pick the word card steam, right? They already know this. They pick volunteers. Api dannawa 5E model ekේ first one is volunteerism, whole class activity. We have discussed this. So it's 5E. This is engagement activity to recall prior knowledge. So we do a small activity to liberate everyone from the seat and to get them kind of volunteer, right? So you have word cards. මොනවාද word cards කියලා මෙතනින් බලන්න තියෙන්නේ? Water, vapor, steam, cloud, rain, fog, mist, stream, dew, frost, snow, ice. So these are the word cards. So they have to pick a word card and go and put it in the right column. Do you understand this? Hello?
Yes, madam.
Understand others?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Sorry? තේරුණා කියලාද කිව්වේ නෑ කියලාද කිව්වේ?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah means you understand. Okay. Now I'm showing you. This is the activity, actually task sheet to go on board. These are the word cards. Let's see words cards not appearing. Sorry, the word cards are not there. Sorry about it. Okay. Anyway, you can see what should be of the word cards. කියලා මොනවද වචන තියෙන්නේ word card එකේ මේකෙන් ඔයාලට බලාගත්තා. මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? Water, one word card. Vapor, one word card. So steam, one word card. So the columns are there: gas, liquid, solid. So if they take water vapor, they have to go and put it under the gas like that. So it's a quick one. You bring all the materials to the class and put it on the board. How much time is needed out of 40? Just tell me. She has allocated 5 minutes. Do you think 5 minutes enough?
For the kids, actually, I think it's not enough.
Others? They are grade 6 students. Others, what do you think? I think if you are very well prepared, if you have trained your students in this kind of activities, this is more than enough. Because 5 minutes, this is what you are supposed to do. You have separately the first step. These are the materials needed. You put the bristle board on the board. You have blue tack with you. You have the word card box with you. You get them quickly. We start today. This is to recall your prior knowledge or what you already know about forms of water. Shall we quickly do? Right. I want you to actually complete this by pasting the word cards in the appropriate column. Kela, it's not one at a time. You can get several at a time. Am I right?
Yes, madam.
I think if you have trained yourself and your students, I think Nimei, it is possible because I have been observing teachers doing this. This is possible. Less than 5 minutes, you can do that. Your students also should have that mindset. Okay. Now that monohari kiwwahama vinadi 5ක් යනවා කරන්න න. Now, if I ask a question, if you take a lot of time to answer, if I ask you to do something, if you take, it is not that. You have to train your students. Then they know, they will take, this is something I already know, they know. The first activity is recalling prior knowledge. So that is how you are going to do that. So now, how to put it into the, these materials are developed now. See how it is put there. Read the first one. What is it? An enlarged copy
of activity 1, forms of water.
Forms of water, Annex 1:1. Activity 1 Annex 1. හැබැයි activity 1 එකට materials you need 2 materials. එකක් තමයි bristle board එක, අනිත් එක තමයි word cards. එතකොට අපි දානවා an enlarged copy of activity 1. Always give a title that it shows what this activity about. Always give a title that activity title shows what the activity is about. So an enlarged copy of activity 1. Forms of water. Annex 1:1. Annex 1 අපි point 1 දීලා තියෙනවා. මේක තව material එකක් තියෙනවා activity 1 එකට. Then word cards annex 1.2. එතකොට මේවා දීලා තියෙන lesson plan එකේ ඇතුලේ නෙමෙයි. lesson plan එක ලියලා ඉවර වෙලා annex විදියට. You get my point?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Right. Now activity 1 is done.
No. Hello, ma'am.
I think she has left.
Hello. Right. Right. Sorry. Can you hear me? I actually lost the connection. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
All right, you're there. Sorry about it. I lost the connection. I don't know. It happened to you also, the Kela. I really don't know, but I lost the connection. Now I'm back. Sorry about it, dear. Right. I'm opening. I'm trying to share my material with you. Right. Sharing option, and then this is the one, and I'm sharing. Okay. So now let's see how the material, now it is written, how the materials, activity 1, how it is written, you saw. An enlarged copy of the activity 1 forms of water, annex 1:1. So this activity is given after the lesson plan as annexures. Okay. And then activity 1 needs another material, that is word cards. So word cards annex 1.2. So they are the materials. So the engagement activity is you recall their prior knowledge, that they have prior knowledge on forms of water. So you plan a small activity for the whole class, because in 5E engagement activity is whole class. So you actually come prepared for that. Everything is prepared. You display the enlarged copy of activity 1, forms of water, on the board, give instructions to the students. You come, pick up a word and then paste it in the correct column. And then word cards are given separately. So then this is how the steps are written for the activity 1. Look at this. Step 1. The teacher, this is teacher activity. Time 5 minutes. The teacher displays the activity sheet, forms of water, on board, annex 1.1. That activity forms of water is given as an annexure after the lesson plan. Okay. So next step is gets volunteers to pick up a word card and complete the activity on board, annex 1.2. So all these word cards are given in annex 1.2. Then the next step, the teacher leads a discussion recalling the prior knowledge on forms of water, gas, liquid, and solid. It's actually a prior knowledge. But after getting them to do that, teacher leads a discussion. So what are the 3 forms, right? You can see here on the board, right? Very good. What are the examples of each one? Here you get the students to tell that. Leading a discussion means teacher doesn't have to say. Now it's there on the board, right? You get them to discuss. So 5 minutes, more than enough, my experience. Okay. Teachers do like that. The teacher has to be very well prepared. Students know how it happens. So they don't take ages to kind of come and do them. Right? Okay. Is it okay? Any questions before we move to the second one?
Okay, ma'am.
Right. Then we'll go to the step 2 or the stage 2. You can use any word, step 2 or stage 2 of the lesson. What should be that in the 5E model, the step 2 or the stage 2 in the lesson?
Exploration.
Very good. Exploration activity. Now I ask you, exploration activity is the new knowledge. What they are supposed to learn today. What they're supposed to learn today is the new knowledge. Right. So this is what is going to happen in that. This is how you have planned that activity. So this is 5E student-centered. So you give them activity, they do it and learn. Okay. So this is how it is written. You can see the teacher get students to form 6 groups of 5 members, because you know your class. 6 group of 5 members means 30 in the class. If you have 35, there will be 7 groups. Like that, you know how you're going to group them. We actually learn grouping as a technique also. Here you can go for kind of
Madam,
heterogeneous. That
Your voice is
is
breaking,
different abilities
No,
that you
madam.
can go for that kind of grouping. Anyway, exploration activities, group activity, because they have to actually discover knowledge, support.
Hello, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am. No, again.
I think we lost the connection, no?
Yeah, ma'am.
Hello? Yeah, you wanted to ask something.
Yeah, couldn't hear you, madam, all this time.
Now?
Now can hear.
All right. Now we are talking about the second activity of the 5 model lesson. Second activity is for exploration of new knowledge. Always it's a group activity. So get students to form 6 groups of 5 members. Okay. That is the first step of the second stage. Then after that, teacher distributes activity sheet. It has to be activity 2, not activity 1. Activity 2, complete the text, Annex 2.2. Right? Teacher plays the video, the water cycle, Annex 2.1, and gets students to do activity sheet, activity 2, complete the text, Annex 2.2. So actually speaking, there is a small mistake here. That complete the text doesn't give you any idea about what this video about. So you have to say, complete the text, Neme. You have to say the water cycle, the 4 parts of the water cycle. What should be the activity 2 then, Puta? The 4
parts.
parts, sorry, of the water cycle. The 4 parts of the water cycle. ඒක තමයි Annex point 2 එක විතර. මේකත් ඒක අපි වෙනස් කරන්න ඕනේ. The 4 parts of the water cycle. So then for this stage 2, there are 2 kind of materials needed. One is a video. So that video is given in at 2.1. Let's see 2.1, whether the link for the video is given. Yeah, link is given for the video. Here, water cycle video, though the link is not there, you have to attach the link. And then you have to give them the activity sheet also. Activity sheet also, it's missing, but it's all right. Methane, you can see. This is complete the, she says complete the text here. Now here, this is the activity given. The sun heats up water in rivers and lakes and turns into water vapor on steam. The water vapor or steam leaves the river, lake or ocean and goes into the air. So these underlined words are missing in the activity sheet. Underlined words are missing in the activity sheet. So they have to watch the video and complete the text. And once completed, these words are written. Right? Evaporation, condensation, liquid gets cold and all that. Is it clear to you?
Yes, madam.
Yes,
Yeah.
madam.
So then we will go to the materials and see how it is written. Materials, okay? She has written the video clip, parts of water cycle. Okay, parts of the water cycle. Copies of the activity sheets. Activity 1, watch the video and complete the text. There are other activities also. Activity 2, match words with definitions. Activity 3, complete the diagram. So these activities are missing, Pute, now, but there are 3 activities based on the same video clip. So it's a very clever way of doing, right? You get them to watch a video one by one, that they complete the text. Missing words are completed about the parts of the water cycle. Then match the words with the definitions. And then there is a diagram given and the diagram is completed. They are all parts of the exploration activity. So let's see. Go below. Here, Balan. Gets the students to complete activity 2, match words with definitions. Activity 3, complete the diagram by reading the completed activity 1. So they can actually make use of this completed text and do the diagram. then gets the students to complete activity 2, match words with definitions. So what are the words and definitions given? Here, match words with definition. The sun heats up water and turns it into water vapor. What is the word that you have to match it with? Like that, you have to actually give them matching words. There are specific words. So here, condensation, transpiration, precipitation, surf, like evaporation and all that. So they are the words. These are the definitions. You give them an activity sheet to match it. Complete the diagram with the missing information. Once completed, this is what it looks like. But you have to give the task sheet where the words are missing, right? And then the next step is actually exploration. The teacher distributes the activity sheet, activity 4, create your own miniature water cycle and gives instruction for homework. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා, you can give them actually exploration activity, getting them to create their own miniature water cycle. But how to do that? You have to give them activity sheet to be taken home. So though here it's not attached, so you have to actually prepare an activity sheet, create your own miniature water cycle, what they are supposed to do step by step in simple English language, and give it to them for homework. So then last part of your lesson plan is assessment criteria. How you're going to assess whether your students have learned them. What you're going to supposed to assess. Identify the 4 parts of the water cycle, define the parts of the water cycle, explain the process of water cycle. Normally, what you can assess is the cognitive domain. What you can assess is the cognitive domain. So then after that, the annexures, but all the activities are not here. I'm very sorry about it. Because I think that I actually couldn't look at. Let's see. The activities are actually gone. That is what has happened. Any questions on that? Any questions? Hello? Hello? Hello, am I not connected?
No questions.
Is it clear to you?
Yes, madam.
But very difficult. එහෙමද? Yes, but difficult. But we will be writing. Don't worry. Shall we write one in the class? These are shown to you because then you can easily understand. Can I show you another one?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
So this time I will show you English one. Okay? But this may not be perfect. I will show you a perfect one. I have my own one. It's a bit of a writing one. Let me open. Let me open. Okay. No, not this one. The wrong one I opened. Let me. All right. Can you see this? Can you see this?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, this is of course is English grade 6, English language grade 6. This is writing. So I think that you all can, today it's very difficult to write. Let's see. Now we all can actually insert. Now you can start writing with me, yeah? Then the first 4. What comes first? Date of lesson. You're preparing this for coming Monday. So coming Monday is when? Today is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you are going to do this on 13. So you write the date. Are you okay?
Yeah, ma'am.
So what is next?
Subject.
Subject. So what's this subject? English. You all also write with me, then you will remember. Then what is the next one? Grade and class. Because there are parallel classes, you will be doing grade 6 B class. Okay, what is next?
Time.
Duration. Time, you can say time. You are given 40 minutes for this lesson. It's normally English language 40. Then our next one is, what is the next big one? We have to actually write the specific objectives. What is it? Specific objectives of the lesson. So what are the specific objectives? Right. Now we are writing specific objectives. When we write specific objectives, we have to write SMART objectives. So we say at the end of the lesson, comma, students
Will be able.
will be able to, that is the step. There will be several. So we are going to actually put some bullets and then go on writing. So this is the lesson all about. This is actually writing lesson. So when it comes to writing lesson, the computer lesson is about writing a small poem. What is the lesson about? Writing a small poem. Writing a simple poem. That is, writing a simple poem is the topic of the lesson. Right? So we can actually subject and topic. Subject and topic. So English, write a simple poem. Write a simple poem. Actually speaking, these are not my own. If you go to grade 6 teacher's guide and the textbook, that is there. Writing is competency 7. Under competency 7, there are some areas. They say write a simple poem. So it is a grade 6 class. You might think writing a simple poem is difficult for them. So how you are going to organize it? This is how you are going to organize it, right? Can I say that my plan for the teaching? We have to first know the plan. Are you okay?
Yeah, ma'am.
Right. Now I'm going to first get them to see a small poem, a simple poem. Snow White. So Snow White, beautiful, beloved, lovable, playing, running, singing, relative of a wicked queen who left the castle to live with the dwarfs in a little cottage. She loves apples, she loves others. Above all, she's so kind, such a good girl, the princess. So there are 10 lines to the simple poem. So I get them to read it as recalling prior knowledge, right? And find answers to these questions, the 10 questions. The 3 adjectives that describe the person. 3 actions done by the person. Adjectives that describe the queen, adjectives that describe the cottage. What does she like? What does she love? What does she who does she live with now? The best quality of the person, who is a relative, 2 words that refer to places where people live. Right. These 10 questions and these Snow White poem is my first activity materials. Are you okay?
Yeah.
So then I can get them to actually use their prior knowledge. They know adjectives, they know how to read, they know words, they have seen a poem, they can recite a poem, they make use of it. And I'm providing a model for them. I'm providing a model for them. Then my second part එක තමයි ඇත්තටම getting them to write. So I prepare it as a group work. How can I get them to write? It's model writing. Because grade 6 ළමයින්ට write a simple poem all can't do that. So writing වල තියෙනවා අපි model writing, guided writing, free writing කියලා. So I'm using model writing technique එක. හොඳයි? ඒක තමයි අර first stage එකේදී recall කරා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ adjectives and simple poem structure and all that they know. It is recalled through a model. Then මම දෙවනි stage එකේදී write a poem about the person you like most කියලා මම task sheet එකක් දෙනවා. මොනවද ඒ දෙන්නේ? පළවෙනි line එකේ they have line 1. They have to write the name of the person. Line 2, 3 adjectives to describe the person. Line 3, 3 ing verbs to denote her actions. Line 4, a relative, friend, cousin of. Line 5, who loves. Line 6, who likes. Line 7, lives in. Line 8, above all. Line 9, such good. And line 10. So they can take this as a model. So write the poem about the person you like. Write a poem about your grade 1 class teacher, Mrs. Anne. Suppose they have 2-3 class teachers, you can group them accordingly. Those who were in Mrs. Anne's class in one class. Those who were in Mrs. Joseph's class is in one group. Those who were in Mrs. Sandra's class is in one group. Like that you can group them. Now they have the model displayed on the board because this is what they read to answer these questions. And now they are actually writing. This is the task. Write a poem about your grade 1 class teacher. So you don't have to give the name Mrs. Anne if there are several ones. Okay. So they will write name of the person first, Mrs. Anne. The 3 adjectives to describe. එතකොට මෙතන තියෙන beautiful, beloved, lovable. ඒගොල්ලෝ ලියයි kind, friendly. Sometimes if they don't know the word, they will ask you. And all these things can happen. Then they will write 3 ing verbs. Neither talking, speaking, teaching, like that they will write. And a relative, friend, cousin of. They said, කාගෙද එයා relative of a wicked queen. එතකොට එයා දායි teacher of somebody, of good students, teacher of good students. අන්න එහෙම ලියයි ඒගොල්ලෝ. ඊට පස්සේ then they write who left the castle to live with the dwarfs. මෙතන line 4 එකේ දාන්න කියලා තියෙන්නේ who loves. මොනවද එයා කරන්න කැමති? Who loves to teach, who loves to crack jokes, who loves to play games like that. They will actually, what they know about the teacher, they will write. So who likes, who lives in, like that. I'm thinking such a good, such a good girl, such a good lady. The princess, our grade 1 class teacher, the teacher. You're there to guide them. So that is a second activity. And then the third one will be that you ask them, right, use the same format and write about your mom at home. Write a small poem about your mom at home. So they are the activities that you give. Are you okay with that? This is actually done by one of my students about 10-15 years ago. She did it very well. It was a very weak, actually rural school. Grade 6 students, they could even think of writing a poem. But she got them to. Because it's model writing that she used. And she guided them by providing clues a lot. And she put them into groups and got them to write. Is the lesson clear to you how you are going to conduct it? Then we can start writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So at the end of the lesson, students will be able to, what will be they be able to? Cognitive domain. පළවෙනි එක තමයි what? Explain the elements of a simple poem. Explain the elements of a simple poem. Simple poem එකක් ලියන විදියට you can use adjectives, you can use like that. You understand? You're going to lead a discussion after the first activity. Then second one, create a, right කියලා දාන්න පුළුවන්, right? Write a simple poem on describing a favorite person. Very favorite person. Write a simple poem describing a favorite person. Then අපි බලනවා මොකක්ද psychomotor කියලා. Now you get them to actually write their own poem for homework about their mom, right? So you know our Mother's Day is round the corner. So you ask them, write a poem and prepare a card for your mom. So that is psychomotor. You get me, Puta?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So then we'll write you call it make a Mother's Day card with the including the poem they write. And then the fourth one is affective domain. Now, giving their mothers a card on Mother's Day, it's an attitude. මොකක්ද කොහොමද අපි එක words වලට දාන්නේ? Value the importance of showing gratitude. තව එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන් affective domain. Works in groups enthusiastically. So the students කියලා තියෙන නිසා work. Now, are you okay with the specific objectives? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So have you taken it down?
Yeah,
Have you
ma'am.
taken it? So what should be the next part? Learning, teaching, materials. What is the next part? Learning, teaching,
Materials.
So we will not complete it right now, as I told you. When we are writing the stages of the lesson, the learning teaching process, we will come back and complete. Okay, so we have to keep space for that. And then we go to, we call it learning teaching process. What do we call it?
Learning teaching.
Learning teaching process. So here it's a 5E1 I'm using, no? But you're providing a model writing. So the first activity, අපි දානවා එකට stage 1. In the learning teaching process, what is your stage 1? In the stage 1, the teacher, TR, this is accepted. You can use this term anywhere, the teacher. The teacher, bold කරන්න. You put, it's the stem. You put it like that. And then you actually have bullets and write the teacher. පළවෙනියම කරන එක දැන් මම ඔයාලට කිව්වා. මොකද්ද මේ පළවෙනියම කරන්නේ? Read the poem and answer the questions. එතකොට you have to actually have an enlarged copy of the poem Snow White, and you should have the questions, right? The questions. So what is the first step? The teacher displays the enlarged copy of activity 1. There is another one, Nisa, 1.1. You have to give a name. Snow White. Snow White. Ek given in Annex 1.1. Right? Activity 1.1. Activity 1, sorry. Activity 1, Snow White, given in Annex 1.1. ඊළඟට මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? Can you tell me? The teacher, the stem is there. Gets. Are you listening? Volunteer. Because always in 5E, first activity is recalling prior knowledge and getting them to be connected to the new lesson. And it is a whole class activity promoting volunteers. So you call them it volunteers, gets volunteers, those who willing, get volunteers to pick questions and do the answers on the board. Given in then questions ටික තියෙන්නේ, name the annex. What should be the name of the annex?
1.2.
1.2. Right. Here, get volunteers to pick questions and do the answers on the board given in Annex 1.2. එතකොට, this is actually the learning teaching process. Once they do that, the next step would be the teacher leads a discussion on. The teacher is already there. එහෙමනම් leads a discussion on. මොනවා ගැනද මේ? Look at the specific objectives and tell me. What would be the discussion on after getting them to do the Snow White and answering the questions? Sorry, speak up, Pute. I can't hear you all, no? Speak louder.
Recalling prior knowledge.
No. That is the purpose. Habai, we are actually doing it to recall the prior knowledge. But when we discuss this out of the now activities to realize the objectives now, out of these 5 objectives, which objective can be recalled?
Elements of a simple poem.
මොකද?
Elements of a simple poem.
Elements of a simple poem. Right, very good. Elements of a simple poem. එහෙමනම් මේ simple poem එකක් පෙන්නලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට මේක ප්‍රශ්න හොයන්න කිව්වේ, then you can lead a discussion on elements of a simple poem. So leads a discussion on elements of a simple poem, right? What are the elements of a simple poem? You can write it here. What are the elements of a simple poem? Leads a discussion on elements of a simple poem. What are the elements of a simple poem? What are the discussion is?
Illustrate the poem.
Name.
Illustrate the poem.
Madam. Couldn't hear you, ma'am.
Sorry.
Your voice is lagging.
Illustrate means drawing picture.
Hello, ma'am. Are you there? Hello.
No, she is not here.
Again, madam, disconnected.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm sorry again. There was a connection issue. I think today we will not be able to finish it, no, Pute. So we will stop now because it's still 9:30 now.
Okay.
Then I will actually send you by tomorrow itself. This is what you're supposed to do for homework. Are you all listening?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, I will send you 2 lesson plans. Again, the connection is not good. Can you hear me? Your
Yeah.
internet connection is unstable. Kelenama, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear
Today
you,
it's
ma'am.
really not raining now, but windy.
Oh,
Yeah, I will send you 2 model lesson plans. Now you can understand now how a lesson plan is annexures and then how to number and all that we discussed now. You study the 2 and come. That is enough. Is it okay?
okay, ma'am.
Yeah, study the 2 very well. And I will send 1 English, 1 science. So you study how it is developed, how the materials are named, how they are put into annexures, how the annexures are numbered, all these things I think that you have to study. So then next day in the class, we are writing lesson plans with me, like that I started doing. Okay. So then once the next week assignment is done, I will get you to select your own lesson and then to write a lesson plan on your own and then come and present the lesson. That will be our assignment, speaking assignment, presentation. Right? It's a demonstration of a lesson. You don't have to teach. You all have to explain your lesson plan. That is what I'm going to do. So because of that, what I send you to by tomorrow, the 2 lesson plans. Now you know no. That ටිකක් idea එකක් තියෙනවද how to write a lesson plan කියලා? Some idea did you get?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now you study it, dear. And then we will write, as I started today, 2-3 lesson plans next day in the class with the materials. Right? We will actually find materials, we will develop activity sheets, everything we will do in the class. Okay? So I think now it's enough.
Madam, when is
It's
the speaking assignment, madam?
9:45 and
When is the date?
steady, there's no steady connection also today.
Madam,
And
can you tell me the
today
next
it's lot
assignment
of
date?
disturbances, distractions and disturbances. It's all right.
Ma'am, can you tell me the next assignment date? Speaking test.
Which one?
Now you told us now. There
Which
is another
assignment date? Put?
speaking assignment is there.
So I have not yet fixed. No, I told you this is what it's going to be like. But we will
Okay,
fix
ma'am.
a date towards the end of the month. But is it
Okay, ma'am.
Sanjay?
Yes, ma'am. Because it's dragging. That's what I couldn't hear anything, and that's it. Hello.